Hi there, BookTube! My name is Christina and today I'm here with a very exciting video, and I know that there are a lot of those out there, but here is my contribution, and it's all about new releases. It's about the 2020 releases, and I'm focusing only on the months of winter, so I'm talking about January and February. This means that some of these books have already been published and you can already buy them. I've not bought them. I will consider buying them for like my birthday probably, so it will take me a while to get to those. But I really wanted to share with you what are the titles that got my attention, and I have 9 books on the list. They are quite different one from the other, so I hope that you will find something that may interest you too. And I will give a little look at my laptop down here every now and then because I don't remember all of the titles, of course. And the very first one is the one about which I'm so excited because it's the very first time here on my channel that I have a non-fiction book among my most anticipated books of the year. This means that something is finally shifting in my reading habits and I'm introducing more and more non-fiction books into my life, so I like this fact. The title of the book is Friendship, the Evolution, Biology and Extraordinary Power of Life's Fundamental Bond, and it says on Goodreads that it's an engaging and deeply reported investigation of friendship, its evolution, purpose and centrality in human and non-human lives alike. And I'm so glad that a book like that is out there. I don't know for what reason I thought that we only have analysis of love and chemistry like between human beings, but thinking about a non-fiction book about friendship, I'm so happy and so excited because friendship is actually one of the, the cores of my life and the main points in my life, because I've always thought that so many things can change in your life, but the friends are there for you. Whatever happens, you may change friends, you may lose someone along the way, you may gain some friends, but they're such a fundamental part of our lives that I'm so excited about a non-fiction book about it, and I'm sure that I will try and read it when I will buy it for my birthday, that's for sure. Next one is a young adult contemporary romance, and it's the first one in a duology or a series, no idea. And I have to admit that I fell in love with the cover first of all and with the setting. So it's called Plumboat Technique by Abigail Hing-Wen, and it tells on Goodreads that this book is for fans of Crazy Rich Asians or Jane Austen comedy of manners with a hint of La La Land. So that really got my attention, and it's about this girl who is sent from Ohio to Taiwan by her parents in order to study for the summer or something like that, and crazy things start to happen. I believe rich people, parties, teenage love, stuff like that, but the setting really seems interesting, so I hope that I will be able to read this book in the future. I believe that it won't become a favorite, but I'm still very interested in it. Next is a book that has already so much buzz around it, and it already has been published as the 2 previous books in January, and this one is Woven in Moonlight, and it's a fantasy, a young adult fantasy, which is inspired by Bolivian politics and history, I believe, and like folklore and tales. So I know very little about the synopsis, even because the synopsis on Goodreads is a little bit intricate and probably it will be more clear when you read the book. But it's a young adult fantasy, Bolivian inspired. I'm in for it. The cover is amazing, and I heard some very good reviews about this book, so I don't have a synopsis here, but if you want to, I will leave a link to Goodreads, so go and check it out because I don't want to butcher it. Then going on with the variety of genres, I have here a middle grade, and it's a contemporary mystery middle grade. It's called From the Desk of Zoe Washington, and it's written by Janae Marks, and this is a middle grade about a girl who is a baking lover, and she's participating in this contest or something like that that's all bakery centered, Meanwhile, she receives a bunch of letters from her dad, who is in prison, and she starts to read all those letters, and he tells that he's not guilty of the crime for which he was put in prison. And so now she decides for herself that she needs to find the truth and she needs to solve the case. And so we have mystery plus bakery plus middle grade. That sounds as fun. Next is a historical young adult, and it's called Saving Semana by Tonya Bolden. Again, the cover is very interesting and the concept is what really got me, and I now want to know if someone else has read this book and what are his or her feelings about it. And this is a book that was published on January 14th, and this is a story of an African-American girl who is becoming a woman on her own terms at the beginning of the 1900s and in America. And it says that she's a lucky girl, she's feeling suffocated by the structure of society, and she meets a working class girl named Nell, who introduces her to the suffragette and socialist movement, inspiring her to fight for change. So I know very little about the suffragette movement in America, but this seems as an interesting starting point. A young adult historical fiction, so why not give it a try? Then I have a mystery fiction. I don't know if it's a young adult or if it's adult, but it's called Dreamland. The cover is very, very beautiful. It's written by Nancy Bilyeu, and it is set in 1911 when 20-year-old Harris Peggy Buttenberg is invited to spend the summer in America's playgrounds. And 20-year-old, so I believe it's kinda an adult, and this is one of the reasons why I decided to pick this book as the most anticipated, because I tell it again and again, I think that we don't have enough books with protagonists who are in their 20s or 30s or stuff like that. We have more than enough of teens, we need something else too sometimes. And the thing that gets me is the last line on Goodreads. It tells that it's an extravagant, intoxicating, and thumping with suspense. Best-selling Nancy Bilyeu's magnificent Dreamland is a story of corruption, class, and dangerous obsession. So again, I hope that I will enjoy it. I don't have the feeling that it will be my favorite ever, but it can be a very curious and different read. Next is a book that was highly discussed here on BookTube, and it's The Stars We Steal by Alexa Dawn. It's a sci-fi young adult, and from what I remember, it's a persuasion retelling. So we have an 18-year-old princess and then her childhood friend and first love, and they end up meeting in space after years. They were in love, but something that went very, very wrong, and it has a bit of the Bachelor and Bachelorette in it. So yeah, this seems as a funny young adult sci-fi. Next is a very unique fantasy, young adult fantasy with a lovely, lovely cover. It's so I don't know, it's so amazing. It is called Below. It is the first one in a duology or a series that is called North, because the book came out on February 4th, and it's by Alexandria Warwick, and we're following this young girl or young teenage girl, I'm not sure, who needs to, throughout all of the northern landscapes and hardships and so, find a demon who is called the Face Stealer, and he steals people's faces, and he has stolen her little sister Face, so she needs to save her, and this will be a wild journey. I don't know what to expect from a book like that, but it sounds so unique that I definitely want to give it a try. And the very last book that I have here is a historical young adult romance. It is set in Japan. It is called The Blossom and the Firefly by Sherry L. Smith. It is set during the Second World War, and we're following Taro, who is a violinist and a kamikaze pilot during the days before the end of the world, and the end of the war. which was kinda the end of the world too. And then we have Hannah, and they fall in love, and this book just follows their love story and how they meet, they separate, and what happens to their love. And it tells that that a song will bring them together, the war will tear them apart. Is it possible to live an entire lifetime in 8 short days? So I believe that it will be heartbreaking, but also heartwarming, and stories set during World War II have this huge and horrible power of really gripping my heart and squeezing it and making it like bleed, but then of giving so much feelings and emotions back that it's always worth it, even if I know that it will be painful. So I will give it a try. And that was the last book that I have as my most anticipated for January and February. They're not anticipated anymore because they're out there, but well, details. And so expect me to film something like that for spring releases too, because I already have a list of books that I'm highly anticipating. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you found some new titles that may interest and pique your interest. I hope so. And let me know what are those titles, or if you've already read some of these books, if you're planning to read them, or if you have some different new releases that you're really waiting to get your hands on. And this is it for this video. I will see you very soon in my next one. Thankfully I've finished because I'm completely losing light here. And I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye! Ciao!